Extravagant wine is a fantastic way to impress your guests, so you should consider having 1 or 2 bottles of vintage wines in your wine collection. This is classy and it sends a positive message to your visitors. Welcome to Focus 5, where we focus on information and education that will inspire your pursuit of a successful and luxurious lifestyle. Today, we'll take you on a journey of the 5 most expensive wines sold. Who knows? You might be interested in purchasing an expensive wine. Here's a guide to help you make the right choice. Before then, let me ask you a question. If you meet a genie or a fairy godmother someday and are asked to make a wish, what would it be? Most of us would go for exotic cars, expensive mansions, and expensive jewelry pieces because this is what we love to have. Very few would choose expensive vintage wines. Why? Lovers of vintage wines enjoy the history and flavor of expensive vintage wines. Researchers report that the brain anticipates that the costly wine would have an acceptable and top-notch quality. Hence, people assess the flavor of expensive wine to be better, even when the expensive wine tastes similar to a cheaper wine. After a thorough analysis, we've trimmed the list of expensive wines from a broad number of the 5 most expensive wines ever sold. So grab a glass of your favorite Merlot, sit back, and enjoy. Let's start with the 5th most expensive wine on the list, the 1907 Piper-Heidsieck Champagne. This vintage champagne has an exciting history. This history is a significant factor behind the huge price. This wine is as ancient as the First World War. Who knows? Thousands of bottles of the 1907 Piper-Heidsieck Champagne were probably going to some 5-star army general before the ship conveying the wine got sunk by a German submarine. Some bottles were lucky to withstand the deep sea for 81 years. In 1997, over 2,000 bottles were liberated from the sea, and this 1907 Piper-Heidsieck Champagne paired well with diverse meals. No wonder a bottle went for as high as $275,000. Next is the 4th most expensive wine, the 1947 Château Cheval Blanc. Often touted as the most extraordinary wine of the 20th century, this wine is tagged as Bordeaux's best vintage. This wine is ranked as Premier Grand Cru Class A. Only 2 wines have ever received Class A status of Saint-Emilion wine. The 1947 Château Cheval Blanc is one of them. Few wine estates survived the 1947 challenging season when the Bordeaux region's wine harvest summer was scorching and grapes were shriveling. These and more made the 1947 Château Cheval Blanc rare. Reports claim 110,000 bottles of this wine were made, and few bottles exist. This celebrated wine with so much reputation doesn't come cheap. The 1947 Château Cheval Blanc sells for hundreds of thousands of dollars. The highest amount ever paid was $304,375 at a Christie's auction in 2010. The 3rd most expensive wine ever sold was produced in the Château Mouton-Rothschild wine estate, one of the most famous vineyards in Bordeaux, France, declared to be one of the best vintages of the last century. The bottle celebrates the Allied victory in World War II, which is confirmed by a V on the label. The vintage 1945 Château Mouton-Rothschild wine is worth every penny spent on it. It regularly sells for tens of thousands of dollars, and someone paid $310,000 for a giant bottle of the 1945 Château Mouton-Rothschild, a Jeroboam in 2006. Number 2 on the list is the 1992 Screaming Eagle Cabernet Sauvignon. This wine was a previous world record holder for the most expensive bottle of wine sold. The 1992 Screaming Eagle Cabernet Sauvignon was sold for $500,000 in a charity event in 2000 and held an 18-year-old record. The wine critic Robert Parker gave the wine 99 out of 100 points not long after the wine was first released in 1995. This is a significant feat. Wine enthusiasts enjoy any Screaming Eagle wine made from the legendary Napa Valley. The 1992 Screaming Eagle Cabernet Sauvignon is an iconic wine. Only 175 cases were produced, and these bottles are rarely sold. The most expensive wine ever sold is the 1945 Domaine de la Romanée-Conti. A bottle of the 1945 Domaine de la Romanée-Conti broke the 1992 Screaming Eagle Cabernet Sauvignon 18-year-old record. The wine sold for a record-setting $558,000 at a Sotheby's auction in 2018. Why is the wine so expensive, you may ask? The Domaine de la Romanée-Conti roots date way back to 1585. The original Romanée-Conti vines were ripped out, and the original Romanée-Conti vines were not replanted until 1947. The 1945 harvest season was a difficult one for all winemakers. Only 600 bottles were produced, and only 2 were available at the auction. Therefore, this wine is rare. It's been dubbed a unicorn wine. Before we conclude, let me mention an interesting fun fact. In 1989, William Sokolin, a New York wine merchant, brought an expensive bottle of a rare 1787 Château Margaux to the Four Seasons Hotel. He intended to show off the precious wine proudly, but a jaw-dropping accident occurred. William Sokolin was a former professional baseball player, yet his acclaimed great hands could not protect the expensive bottle from dropping. Thomas Jefferson previously owned the wine, and Sokolin claimed it was worth $500 grand. However, the insurance company reimbursed him slightly less than half of that. Well, friends, this is where we will sign out. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button so that you won't miss out on our exciting videos. Also, share it with your loved ones. Bye for now.